views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
And hello, welcome to Open, the show opening the Bronx and the rest of the world right to you. I'm Daren Jaime. Today we're going to update you on what's happening in and around our borough. Coming up, we'll discuss an organization creating fellowships for accomplished mathematics and science teachers. Afterwards, we're going to sit down with a representative from the Riverdale Senior Services to discuss their pet therapy service with a very special furry guest. And then we're going to discuss an event using the Bible to help individuals heal through their trauma. And then after that, we're going to learn about an initiative a group of university students are doing addressing pressing needs in the communities. Then we're going to sit down with an activist to discuss the struggles of being a vegan in the poorest and most unhealthy district in the United States, South Bronx. And Two Heartbeats, Two Lives is holding an event understanding the impact of abortions in communities of color. So stay tuned because all this and much more is heading your way. Right now, we're officially open. Hello everyone, I'm Daren Jaime, and today is Wednesday, October 30th, and you're watching Open, a live program bringing the Bronx and New York City straight to you. We also want to welcome our viewers on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, as Open is now being broadcast simultaneously on MNN's channels. Now you also can stay connected to us on all our social media platforms at BronxNet TV. Well, some things have been going on through the past week. We're going to take you through a few of them with some Bronx updates. What better way to really start off the show than to be talking just simply about us? BronxNet celebrates their 25 years of broadcasting with a gala luncheon at Marina Del Rey, thanking many supporters, including honorees, former Borough President Fernando Ferrer, who received the Founders Award, and much more. Our BronxNet reporter Arlene Makoko was on scene. She brings us the details right now.
It was a packed house at the Marina Del Rey in the Throgs Neck section where BronxNet Television celebrated 25 years of broadcasting with a gala luncheon at the Marina Del Rey.
This began with an idea.
Honored with the Founders Award was former Borough President Fernando Ferrer, who served the county from 1987 to 2001 and who was central in bringing public access to the Bronx at a time when the borough needed it most.
The idea was, everybody else is telling our story who isn't from around here. Let Bronx people tell their own story and look at the beautiful thing that happened.
What happened is BronxNet is now at 3 locations. Launching in 1993 at Lehman College, they are now in the East Bronx at Mercy College, and most recently, La Central, located in the Hub. All the while providing training for people like Darlene Rodriguez, who had her start at BronxNet and is now an anchor at WNBC, and Dean Meminger, now a reporter on Spectrum News.
I couldn't be happier and prouder. I don't deserve anywhere near 1% of the credit, but hell, I'll take the plaque because I'm from the Bronx and I ain't giving it back.
I've been elected now 23 years of my life, so it feels like I really grew up with BronxNet.
Receiving the Quarter Century Award was Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr., credited for his vision in steering that expansion into communities once left abandoned and now thriving.
Over the last quarter century, BronxNet has been able to be on the air, be able to give people the access that they need in order to get the information out, creating opportunities for students. BronxNet has been covering and has shown the evolution of our borough and is allowing for the world to see that and document that.
I remember the board starting with Dr. Roscoe Brown and what an honor it was to be there.
Paying homage to the late legendary former World War II fighter pilot Dr. Roscoe Brown, president of Mind Builders Creative Arts Center, Madaha Kinsey Lamb, who was honored at the gala with a Public Service Award, recognized Brown for shaping BronxNet into what it is today.
BronxNet is just constantly improving the quality, the access, the visibility, and the whole reputation of the borough as well. That it's really great to be able to be a part of that.
BronxNet has been an incredible asset for the Bronx, for all the people of the Bronx, all the programming it does in so many different types of ways. Bronx Talk with Gary Axelbank, just to name one.
There to honor Executive Director of BronxNet, Michael Maxnabi, and the honorees was New York State Assemblymember Jeffrey Dinowitz. The recognition continued with leaders that included New York State Senator Alessandra Biaggi.
BronxNet is a staple in the Bronx community, and it emphasizes probably one of the most important factions of our community, which are young people being involved in media and narrative and sharing their message and making sure that they're highlighting important issues in the community.
Too often we're not telling the story and good stories of what's going on in the Bronx. And in order for that to happen, you need the BronxNets of the world to do that.
BronxNet brought us to that frontier that we didn't have before. You know, now people can tune in and follow what's happening in the Bronx and understand how, you know, Bronx residents feel and deal with new initiatives, new laws, and you know, new attractions too as well. So it's really been a great thing to have BronxNet, and which has brought us to you know, the same playing field as the other boroughs.
Something unheard of 2 decades ago, but today with the work of extraordinary leaders joined by those in the community, the Bronx is thriving, something that's a huge cause for celebration.
We're gonna have a good time inside.
We're proud. Okay, see you in there. For BronxNet.
We are BronxNet!
This is Arlene Makoko.
Certainly a good time had by all BronxNet 25 years. Well, that's all the time we have for our Bronx updates. We are taking a quick break, but we do have more open, so stay tuned. We're coming right back right after this.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
And we are back here on Open Math for America as a not-for-profit organization building a community of accomplished mathematics and science teachers who make a lasting impact in their schools, their communities, and the profession at large through collaboration and continued learning. And here now to tell us more is MFA Chief Operating Officer Michael Driskill. And Michael, good to have you.
Good to have you. Thanks for having us to the Bronx, Darren.
Hey, we're excited to have you to the Bronx. And I know you are here and you're also looking to talk to Bronx teachers.
Absolutely. Like you said, Math for America, or MFA as we call it, is a nonprofit organization that supports K-12 STEM teachers who are working in New York City public schools. And our principal goals, or immediate goals, are to improve teacher retention, so to keep great teachers in the classroom, and also to give them an opportunity to power innovation in STEM education from the ground up. So the primary way we do this is through our Master Teacher Fellowship, which gives great teachers from all over New York City, the Bronx and other boroughs included, a chance to work together, do professional development after school for a 4-year period, and the fellowship comes with up to $60,000 in stipends for the teacher. And I think a long-term goal is to change the way people think about teaching in this country and give teachers the respect and teaching the respect it deserves.
Walk me through a little bit about what goes on here in New York. Are we seeing a lot of teachers leave?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think this is a problem all across the country, actually, especially in the STEM disciplines.
Mm-hmm.
So our idea is pretty simple. If you treat teachers with more respect, you bring them together and give them the opportunity to work together just like other expert professionals, then they're going to stay. Right. And we find that to be the case.
So for those who take part in this program, say for instance somebody's watching right now, say, hey, I may want to do this. Walk us through what it looks like.
So the first thing, go to our website. You can learn all about the application process. That's the first step, is we have a rigorous application to get people into the program. Mm-hmm. And it involves a content knowledge test and submitting some transcripts and reflecting on lesson plans and then a finalist interview. And after that phase, they get into the fellowship. And what we have is an amazing professional development catalog. And you can see that on the website too. We have hundreds of offerings for professional development. And the really special thing about professional development at Math for America is that it's mostly teacher-led. Like I said, we want teachers, we treat them as respected professionals, and we think that they're the experts in the classroom, and we really want to build on what they know and give them an opportunity to work together and to make education better. So teachers choose their own path through the fellowship over the 4 years, and they participate in the opportunities that they want to take advantage of because they know where they want to grow in their practice and how they can work with others.
I asked you earlier about, are teachers leaving? But I'll ask you this about STEM teachers. Are we seeing an increasing rise in STEM teachers?
Well, what we found is that if you treat them the way we do and you give them this fellowship, they stay for longer. Mm-hmm. So we think it's a great model. We also try to convince other cities and states to do what we're doing, and we hope that lots of people want to do this.
How's the reception been when you introduced the program?
To other cities and states? Pretty good. In fact, Governor Murphy in New Jersey just recently created a new fellowship based on our model called the New Jersey STEM Innovation Fellowship. Mm. But we have 1,000 teachers in our program in New York City. We're really focused on New York City. About 180 of those teachers are from the Bronx. This year we welcomed 33 new Bronx teachers. So we're at about 18%, but we'd love to get that percentage up. The Bronx is a really important place. We want more teachers to apply and participate.
Right. And the fellowship experience as a whole, looking at it from your perspective, you're watching teachers come in, come out, graduate, go forward. What's it been like for you watching the professional development occur?
So it's really rewarding for me because I was a teacher for a decade before I joined Math for America, and I know that this is the kind of professional development that we need. Our teachers say this is what inspires them. It really helps them to stay in the classroom. And another great thing about our fellowship is that after you finish your first Master Teacher Fellowship, if you really had a successful experience and you're really excited about it, you can apply for a Master Teacher 2 Fellowship and even a Master Teacher 3 Fellowship. So our goal is really to keep people in it and keep people communicating and participating with their outstanding peers for the long haul.
Right. You talked about being a math teacher for a decade, right?
Yeah.
So did you find yourself really lacking the professional development that you desired?
Yes. I think the typical professional development that teachers think of is these workshops where some expert from outside the system comes in and you do a one-day workshop and it doesn't really feel connected to your classroom. And the experience at Math for America is completely different. The professional development is ongoing. It gives teachers a chance to work together in small teams, in larger groups over the course of a year or even more, develop really deep relationships so that they can evolve and grow over time.
Mm-hmm. Bronx teachers taking advantage of this?
Absolutely, yeah. Right. I mean, 180 of them right now.
Good.
We want more.
And you want more?
Yeah, we want more.
Well, that's what we want. Yeah. All right, we want to get the word out so they can do that. Mike,
absolutely.
Good to have you.
Thank you very much.
All right, Michael Driskill. Now, listen, for more information, you can visit the website at mathforamerica.org or on social media at Math for America. And we'll take a quick break, but if you're a math teacher and you want to find out more, make sure you do that. Taking a quick break, we got more open. Stay with us, come right back right after this.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
And welcome back to Riverdale Senior Services is providing certified pet therapy services to seniors. And they're looking to see more animals become a therapy dog. Now, you gotta ask the question, what is the process of actually becoming a therapy dog? And so joining us to tell us more details are social worker at Riverdale Senior Services, Selena Ng, and Riverdale Senior Services therapy dog, Fufu. Hi, Fufu.
Fufu, say hi. Actually, his full name is Killer Fufu, but we shortened to Fufu.
What's killer about him?
Killer, it's all about love. He kills you with his love.
Oh, okay, there it is.
And we had a conversation today, right before we came on. He preferred that I speak on his behalf.
I understand.
So he's going to let me talk on his
no
behalf.
problem. Fufu, thank you for just coming. Okay,
Yes.
so talk to us about Riverdale Senior Services. Obviously, therapy dogs are now becoming more and more a part of the services that are provided for seniors.
Absolutely. And Riverdale Senior Services is the only therapy dog that is in the senior centers now. I don't think there's any other senior centers that have that. So we're really trying to encourage people. If you feel that you have a dog that is well behaved, friendly, and just loves to be with people, I really recommend that because it's so therapeutic for seniors or for individuals, for anybody. To have somebody like love like this in the center. I mean, he brings such warmth and just such happiness, and he just brings happiness to
I
the
know. I
center.
want to hang out with him and cancel like the rest of the
I
show.
know,
We can just hang out, right? You know.
Absolutely.
But when you talk about a therapy dog, right? We hear a lot of words about dogs. We see airports, other places, service dogs, and then there's therapy dogs, and there's a huge difference.
Right, there is a huge difference. Service dogs are actually working with one individual. They are the ones that if a service dog are for people who have some kind of disability where it's either vision impairment or they have mental health issues or whatever the case is, they just work one-on-one with that individual. In terms of therapy dogs are really supposed to just give compassion and friendliness to everyone overall. They could go to the hospitals, they could go to the nursing homes, they could go to schools. And that's why we're really emphasizing that if you feel like you have a really good dog, that it has a really good temperament and just loves to be around people, we definitely encourage that.
Yeah, Fufu's an excellent candidate.
Yes.
Now talk to us about how they actually help people. You know, is it just sittings, you know, just, how's it go?
Okay, so basically, he actually walks around the senior center with me, and we just walk around, and if you look at him, you just want to fall in love with him.
Absolutely.
Because it brings your endorphins, it brings your, you know, mentally, it just calms you down. It's a stress reliever. It relieves anxiety if you're depressed. In fact, I've seen him go to individuals who seem a little bit nervous or has anxiety or just are not feeling well, and he'll just sit right next to them, and he'll let them pet him, and it's just wonderful. Yeah.
So for him, right? What kind of traits are needed for a therapy dog?
Okay, he has to be friendly, he has to have a good temperament, he has to love people, he has to, he just has to listen to directions. And not only for therapy, it's a therapy team. So not only is it Is it him that has to be trained? I have to be trained. I have to work with individuals, see if I'm comfortable socializing with them and allowing him to socialize with them as well.
Well, my dog's out of the running for that.
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't bark. He's hypoallergenic. So, and he's just very calm, as you could see. And we work with Pet Partners, and this is an organization. It's a therapy animal program, and they teach you how to do all this. And he actually goes through a rigorous test to make sure that he is well behaved. That if somebody pulls on his tail, that he doesn't get upset. If he's just a very calm dog, so that's what we're looking for therapy dogs.
So he has to go through his own certification process.
Yes, it's a whole rigorous certification. In fact, they make you. They test him by putting him on a stranger's lap, and for 30 seconds, nobody's supposed to touch him, and he's not supposed to jump off or anything, otherwise he fails the test. I mean, that's how very, very structured they are, and that's why he's considered a really good therapy dog.
I know he's helped a lot of people.
Yes, and he brings such love to people, and people just seeing him walking around just makes them so happy. It's a stress reliever for everyone.
So you actually walk him around the center?
Walk him around, and actually we have an adult daycare program that works with dementia, cognitively impaired individuals, Alzheimer's individuals, and I bring them there and I show they're able to pet him, and they're even able to just like let him sit on the lap. And we actually have one individual who doesn't remember a lot, but whenever he sees him, he says foo-foo. Really? So, I mean, it really stimulates the mind also as well.
Is it amazing to just look and see the power of the dog?
Exactly, and he's looking at the camera this way.
I know, he wants his airtime. You know?
Exactly.
He wants to make sure.
Yes.
So, when you talk about the training process, right, for the animal and for the owner, it's a long process, of course, right?
Yeah, and it's about a 15-20 minute test that they take, that he has to take, and they not only watch him, they watch me, of how I interact with individuals as well.
And how has this impacted you over Riverdale Senior Services, having a therapy dog?
Oh my gosh, it has changed the Riverdale Senior Services. It's so much more positive. When he brings so much warmth to the center. I mean, he's like a celebrity when he comes here. He goes to the center 3 days a week. And when we're walking around, everyone always asks me, if I don't have him, they say, where's Foo-Foo? They prefer him over me nowadays.
Yeah, that's usually how it works. That's usually how it works with dogs. And so, are there more dogs on the horizon?
We're hoping. That's why I'm trying to really promote pet therapy, to go to hospital. If you feel that your dog is actually well behaved and who love being around people and who don't mind any kind of environment that is not, you know, it could be loud noises or whatever, and they're very adaptable dogs, then I really recommend a dog like this to be a pet therapy dog.
He is so sweet. Foo-Foo.
Foo-Foo.
Well, thank you for coming and hanging out with us.
Say hi.
Come
yes.
on. You want to hang out with me during commercial?
Absolutely.
You want to stay for the rest of the show?
Yes.
I got shows after this. You want to hang out? We can start another career.
Why not?
Foo-Foo, Selena, thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much.
Listen, now, if you want more information on the Riverdale Senior Services, you can visit their website at rssny.org, or you can email them at info@rssny.org. We have to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Open right after this. I feel my dog is watching and he's very jealous right now. I'll be home, Deacon. All right.
Thank you.
For all the papas out there, let's stop what we're doing and take a moment. A moment to be with our kids. They can be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments, kooky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count, because every time dads take a moment to be with their kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's all take a moment to make a moment today.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try.
Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Everyone, thank you for staying with us. American Bible Society's Trauma Healing Ministry is holding a convening session offering hope to individuals who are dealing with trauma. Here now to share more details is American Bible Society Manager of Church Partnership in New York City, the Reverend Dolores Burnett, and thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and especially to talk about American Bible Society's Trauma Healing Ministry. Right. And what it really is, the Trauma Healing Ministry is a Bible-based ministry that exists to help pastors and ministry leaders and ministries and even people who have a passion for trauma survivors to help them restore hope through the Word of God. So many people are dealing with extreme violence, loss, and abuse. And what is happening is leaving people hopeless and empty and alone. And they want healing, but they struggle to connect with a loving God. So we're here to let them know that there is hope through His Word.
So you have trauma services and you're using the Bible to do this here. But when you look at the trauma across New York City, what do you find as some of the significant needs of people who are dealing with this? Because a lot of people deal with this on a daily basis.
People are dealing with so much trauma, and they're looking for something, and it's hidden. A lot of times people cannot talk about the trauma that they have experienced, and so they're going in the church, they're sitting there, and they're telling you, hi, how you doing, or you see them outside, and yet they are suffering. And so what we are doing at American Bible Society is saying that there is a place, a ministry that you can go to, and that through the Word of God, that you're going to be able to restore hope.
So American Bible Society is having this convening session.
Oh, yes, I'm so excited about that. On November 6, 2019, at Harvest Fields Community Church, 2626 East Tremont Avenue in the Bronx, we are having our first free Bible-based trauma healing convening session. Now, at this convening session, you will see an overview of American Bible Society's trauma healing model that offers hope and healing through scripture and mental health best practices, an experimental portion of our trauma healing curriculum, and a time for you to decide if this ministry should be a part of yours.
So for people who want to find out more information about trauma healing, of course, you have your convening session going on, but who do you want to see come to this?
We want to see anyone that has that passion to help. And so sometimes people think, oh, it's just for pastors, it's just for ministry leaders. No. We have many people that are coming to the convening session that said, I've seen the effects of trauma in my family, in my marriage, even in my children. And so I do want to hope. So this curriculum is going to allow them to minister the Word of God by restoring the hope.
And so American Bible Society is stepping in and assisting with this. Talk to me about your reaction to being able to be a part of connecting spirituality and trauma.
I've been in American Bible Society for over 17 years, and we have tremendous ministries as we're trying to connect people to not just get the Bible and buy it, but actually engage in the Bible, engage in Scripture. And so when I was asked by my boss to be a part of trauma healing, I said, sure, no problem. But what I realized is that I was experiencing a great deal of trauma that I had hidden. And the trauma healing program brought that out and allowed me to deal with it by allowing the Word of God to restore hope. And so it's the convening session that people are going to come to and hear everything they need to know about trauma. But the next step is if that person says, you know what, I'm really interested in this, then we provide a 4-day training session called Equipping, where we're going to tell you everything you need to know about trauma so that you can lead what we call healing groups. And that's where I think it begins. It's because this is an intimate group of people that are talking about the trauma and how it affected them, and then we're going to talk about how the Word of God can provide healing. So it's exciting.
Church gets a lot of knocks, right?
Oh my goodness, please.
But yet and still, here it is, you're providing reasonable ministry service to the community. And so what do you feel are the benefits of being able to connect this, meaning church, right, with the issue of trauma that's an everyday issue that so many people deal with?
I think that it provides hope. I think that so many people are dealing, like I said, in silence, and that people don't know. And I think when we start doing the trauma healing ministry and they're a part of it, they'll realize that they are not alone. The Bible says in Psalm 147:3 that I will heal the brokenhearted and I will bind up their wounds. And not many people know that. They're just thinking they have to go through this suffering alone, and they do not.
So for more information, we're going to give you that in just a few seconds, but you obviously are looking for everybody to come on out to the convenience
Oh, of
section.
course. We are looking for everyone to come out. It's free. Going to Harvest Fields Community Church is easy to get to. And of course, we're going to provide you a great free hot lunch.
All right, Reverend Dolores Burnett, Manager of Church Partnership for American Bible Society here in New York City.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming and sharing with us.
You're very welcome. And they can always call me. You can go to our website, but you can always call at 848-230-9100.
I think I'm going to give them another number. I don't know. Well, I'm going to give them some information, right? So the Trauma Healing Convening is taking place next Wednesday, November 6th from 10 to 1. Once again, it's going to be at the Harvest Fields Community Church. And you come on out to 26 Tremont Avenue. Now, if you do want to sign up for the event, visit the convening at eventbrite.com. And for more information, of course, you can visit americanbible.org. So stay tuned. We do have more show coming up. We're going to come right back right after this.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
And we are back. Save the Earth from A to Z is an international volunteer group of university student volunteers from the World Mission Society Church of God. And they're volunteering to help clean up Sedgwick Avenue and remove graffiti as part of a worldwide environmental campaign. And joining us now and sharing more details are the ASEZ event coordinators of the Sedgwick Avenue cleanup, Andrew LaSalle and Monique Anderson. And thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Oh, you're so in sync. Thank you. But also thank you for the great work that you're doing. I mean, you're talking about Sedgwick Avenue, and that's home for a lot of us, right?
Yes.
And so you guys are really grabbing the bull by the horns and saying, I want to make sure this thing gets cleaned up.
Yes.
So share with us.
So actually, ASEZ, we are a student volunteer group from the World Mission Society Church of God. So the church itself has been carrying out volunteer service since its inception about 1964, but the students wanted to take that same volunteer mindset and heart to their own campuses. So that's where ASEZ came from. It's the university student volunteers from the church, And since 2005, we've been carrying out volunteer services around 8,000 locations around the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
So here you are on Sedgwick Avenue.
Yes.
What's going on Sedgwick?
So on Sedgwick, we'll be working together with the New York State Assemblywoman LaToya Joyner. We actually supported her for one of her cleanups, and on our way, we saw this area that looked like it can use a little love.
Right.
So on that day, we'll be carrying out a street cleanup to remove litter and debris, also to remove weeds. And we're going to be removing a lot of graffiti that's on a residential building in that area. We're going to be painting over it, and then hopefully in the future we can have artists come and paint a mural that's more positive for the community.
Well, talk about the community response. I mean, obviously you're going into a community, you're trying to help breathe life back into it and do some restoration. What's been the response of community residents as you're getting in here?
Been very positive, actually. We had a few cleanups so far in the Bronx, about 6, and we noticed that, well, first we invited the community to join us, and we noticed even those who are watching, they ended up participating at that moment, really taking pride in cleaning at that moment, and also they can feel like by participating, they have more ownership over the area. So the feedback has been very positive, and we're very grateful that the community has actually been joining us.
And this Sunday?
Yes, it's going to be this Sunday, November 3rd from 11 to 2. And this Sunday, we hope we can have residents. We want people to know that they don't have to be university students to participate. So if they're watching, they're more than welcome to join us. We're on social media. We have a handle, it's at ACES_East Coast. And they can also feel free to email me as well at monique.anderson@zionusa.org. If they would like to participate. And we have been received very well in the community, so it's been very fulfilling for the volunteers to see how their efforts have made a direct impact in the communities that they live in.
Now, my investigative journalism tells me there's going to be more than 100 volunteers?
I think so.
Yes. We're expecting at least 100 volunteers from ACES, also probably a few more from the community, and also from the Assemblywoman's office.
What's it like for you, given the fact that here you go, you're improving your neighborhood, you're taking it back, you're cleaning, you're doing some restoration. What's the personal feeling, what's the personal gratification for you out of all this?
I'm sure you can imagine, great, amazing. A lot of the volunteers are dedicating their own time, their own resources, really selfless activities. So it's so encouraging, especially to see the youth, young people who are in college, really caring about the environment, joining together instead of doing so many other things that youth can do on a Sunday, sacrificing their day and their time to really do something that's beneficial to the community.
And you have a SAVE movement. I didn't get a chance to talk about that.
Yeah, so SAVE is actually, stands for S is for social services, A is for raising awareness, V is for victim relief, and E for environmental protection. So they sum up all the different kind of initiatives that ACES deals with.
And so, I want you to know, come on out to Sedgwick Avenue, because guess what? There's going to be a lot going on, a lot of volunteers, a lot of cleanup. So where do you go after Sedgwick Avenue? Do you have a plan as to what's the next after this?
We're going to be doing some campus-based activities, like a DIY, make your own eco bag. We're trying to raise awareness on different environmental protection initiatives. Who knows? We'll keep you, stay tuned on our social media so you can always be up to date with what we're doing.
Yeah, well, certainly want to thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. And best wishes, more than 100 volunteers will be taking place and taking part. And we want to make sure that the word gets out, so thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
You.
All right, now I want to let you know the Sedgwick Avenue street cleanup is taking place Sunday, November the 3rd from 11 to 2, located at 900 Sedgwick Avenue. Now, if you need more information, visit the website, WMSCOG.com or /ASEZ. That's how we do it, right? Yes. All right, got it, no problem. Or visit their social media at ASEZ_East Coast. Don't go anywhere. More open right after this. Our next guest is a vegan activist and entrepreneur from the Bronx who is educating the community on ways to honor the mind, the body, and the spirit through food. She recently published a cookbook teaching low-income people how to shop and cook as vegan. And here to tell us more is Darriel McBride. Good to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Good. So you got a little struggle here, right?
Yeah, it's been a journey. I mean, we live in the Bronx. It's already pretty far out from the city. Not to say that there's no supermarkets in the Bronx, but in terms of like access to like the clean foods, the foods like the pleasure foods, the ice creams, right, the vegan donuts. Sometimes I have to go to like Brooklyn for that, or like Harlem. So it kind of goes back to the whole narrative of the Bronx being like this disinvested in community, even just from food down to like resources. So for me, yeah, I've had to kind of like finesse my way around it, but right now I like shop at different places, and what inspired me to make my book was that struggle in itself. Like, where do you go for food? Like, how do I make this work? Because there's a stereotype that vegan food is expensive, and so if I can't afford it, then why bother? So I'm here to kind of like deconstruct
So when it comes to Bro the Bronx, right, as you said, there's a lot of challenges because we don't have we got some food deserts, we have a lot of places. So you find yourself going across New York City pretty much to stock up?
Sometimes. It depends what I'm getting. Like, Target is one of like my safe havens, and obviously like Bronx Terminal Market, you can go there and get stuff. But the problem is that like everything that I personally need is not in one place. You know how you can walk into a supermarket and everything you need is there, like cereal, whatever. I have to go to like Whole Foods for certain things in Harlem, and then I have to go to Aldi's on 3rd Avenue, and then I have to go to Target. So it's like, can I get like a supermarket that has everything? So yeah, but it's not that hard. Like, I think once you commit to that lifestyle and you commit to your health, you start to see how easy it is to just find what you need. Because it could be something simple, like just a can of chickpeas, you know?
Right. So how do you go about helping other people, right? Because I know you're working with individuals. Your book also helped to do that as well, teaching some low-income individuals. So walk us through what you did with that.
I pretty much do like vegan coaching. It really depends on what your personal goals are. I've seen veganism help people heal their depression, their anxiety, everything from like ulcers. It helps with diabetes. There's so many different things. So I kind of just talk to people about what their goals are. Like, first of all, what's your budget? Because we live in the Bronx. Like, sometimes like I was at a point where I only had like $5 in my account, and I still managed to be vegan. A lot of people be like, all I got is $5, so I'm just gonna go to McDonald's. And I'm like, no, I'm committed to this lifestyle. I'm just gonna find a way. So I talk to people about what their goals are, and then I recommend my book to them, which tells them like where to shop, where you can find items for the low, how you can make like really good alternatives like cookies, cupcakes, or if you want like a hamburger helper kind of thing, I teach them how to make those things for a decent price. So. Yeah.
And there are some stereotypes, right, that you have to debunk with being a vegan. So since I got you here, why don't you just debunk a few of them for us?
There's so many. Where do you get your protein? That's like the funniest one to me, because there's protein in everything. And personally, vegans actually get more protein, more healthy protein from what they eat, like beans, legumes, oatmeal. These are all things that have protein in them that you don't think have protein in them. Even plants like kale have protein in them. There's that. I don't know, just like corny jokes like, do you eat grass? Like, you eat grass too. You know you season your food with like cilantro, right? So we all eat grass. But yeah, things like that. And I think people don't understand that the connection between the gut and the mind are interlinked, because 90% of your serotonin is in your gut. So what you're eating is impacting your mood and your health. So if you're eating poisonous foods, chances are you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be able to thrive as much as you would on a vegan diet.
And so you got the Boogie Down Vegan Cookbook?
Yes, that is available on my Instagram page at the Boogie Down Vegan Puerto Rican. And basically you just click the link in my bio and you can download the ebook from there. It has 22 recipes, everything from cupcakes to like Reese's, different really cool stuff. It's not just like you're going to be eating pasta all day, because that's another misconception.
Right, because I want to get to
what
that.
What do I eat?
Because, yeah, what do you eat? And there's a thought that you're giving up a whole lot of stuff, but you can be vegan and still have fun.
You can. I mean, there's like a bunch of things you can do. There's a bunch of restaurants. There's a vegan festival every year that just happened in September, where there's vendors from all over the United States who come and like cook food. There's a soul food restaurant in Harlem. There's even a vegan Dominican restaurant in the Bronx. It's a pop-up shop, so it's only open on the weekends. But it's like people are here, like vegans are here, and we're thriving. It's just a matter of how can you take something that you normally would eat, like mac and cheese, and veganize that. And it's really simple, honestly.
What are you looking to see happen in the future?
I'm looking to see more vegan restaurants in the Bronx. I don't want to have to keep going to Harlem or Brooklyn to get something like a soul food kind of touch to my food. I'm happy that Next Stop Vegan exists because they're the only thing in the Bronx right now that has a real presence. But I think we have to bring the good to the Bronx. We have to bring the health to the Bronx instead of people having to always leave the Bronx. That's kind of been my experience with everything. Have to leave the Bronx for events, poetry nights, or you want to go hang out with your friends. Are you really going to hang out in the Bronx, or are you going to go take them to somewhere in Brooklyn or Manhattan?
Right.
Let's bring all of the joy and all the things that we deserve as a community here.
So I think you're going to be creating something. Is that right? You're going to be given the fact that we're talking about all this here. I know the creative juices are flowing.
They are. I'm thinking of kind of working small scale right now. Currently taking a business accelerator with Communitas Ventures. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a business accelerator program where we get together with social entrepreneurs from the Bronx to talk about business strategies, and we just have lectures through actual entrepreneurs. So the more information I'm gaining, I'm realizing what kind of business can I tailor to serve the Bronx in the best capacity. So that's one of my long-term goals for sure.
Well, Darriel, thank you so much for coming and being with us.
So
I think you've educated us and debunked some of the myths, and we want people to make sure to know that you can go out there. Now listen, if you want more information, you can follow Darriel on Instagram at Darry.mcb and on at the Boogie Down Vegan Puerto Rican. So don't go anywhere. We do have more show. We'll be right back right after this.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Over 90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from invisible or silent. If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
And thank you for staying with us in New York. There are about 70,000 abortions a year. And what are the root causes that drive women to abortion? Well, here to share a little bit more, the founder and president of Two Heartbeats, Two Lives, Marsha Toms, and member of Life Team New York, Myrna Calderon. And thank you so much for joining. And I am baffled to hear 70,000 abortions every year in New York City.
Well, that's why we're here, because people are baffled, people don't know, and the information is readily available, so that's why we are having a workshop to help people to bring that information to the forefront, so that people will know that in New York there are over 70,000 abortions a year, and that in the Bronx in particular, over 60% of the pregnancies actually end in abortion.
60%?
Yes. And so the workshop that we're having is going to be connecting the link between mass incarceration, abortion, and genocide. Because at the end of the day, when people are not reproducing, the result of that is genocide. And so this workshop is going to take it back to decades ago, when the eugenics and the genocide project had started here in actually New York, but in the United States. So it is going to be an information-based workshop, and we're also going to be helping people understand how to reverse that. Because once you understand, like you were in shock, you didn't know that the numbers were so high. Oh. And so because people don't know, they are not going to understand that there's a crisis. But one of the main things I wanted to ask is if a person thinks that it is wrong to intentionally and directly take the life of another human being. And if the answer to that question is yes, then we'd have to say that abortion is wrong, because abortion is the direct and intentional taking of another human being's life.
I'm going to talk about the work that you do.
Well, a few years ago, we've gotten together with other churches of different denominations, and we work on, it's called the New York Life Team, and we started giving workshops to bring awareness to what was going on, because we were all appalled when we started seeing the numbers. There were some pastors who could not believe that in their own, within their own area of their churches, they were like the #1 in the Bronx of abortions. And if you know anything about abortion statistics, New York State is #1 in the country, and the Bronx is #1 in New York State. So that will tell you why we got involved.
Right. And you so launched this campaign, Unborn Lives Matter.
Yes, yes. Unborn lives matter, our lives matter, because if we trace the trend back to the 70s, right? So at the same time that Roe versus Wade took off, which was abortion on demand, at the same time that took off, the mass incarceration took off as well. So there's a direct parallel between those two issues, starting early 70s. And so with those two issues combined, the outcome of it is genocide. And the result of that is our race, our people of color, our population is declining since about 2014. But nobody heard about it.
Right.
You know,
well, that's what I'm saying, because Myrna, you're educating people. I want to talk about what's the response that you get when you start throwing these statistics and information out there.
People are floored. What happened to me was I was watching a news show. It wasn't CNN, it was HLN News. And they were talking about this Myopha 21. And I said, what's Myopha 21? So I ordered the DVD. I was floored. I could not believe how, especially the black population, was being targeted for genocide. In fact, there's a website you can go to, blackgenocide.org, run by a Reverend Childress, who just gave these statistics that I just couldn't believe. I just wept.
He appeared here a few years ago.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I just wept when I said, how could you stand by and see your own people of color that look just like you, being targeted for annihilation and not say anything, and especially the innocent lives. And I've seen as part of the Life Team, not just the babies lives that are taken, but the women that are destroyed by being told this is okay, and having to see them become suicidal, having to see them not being able to have children later in life and feeling like they're being punished. I've seen men had no control over what the women did, and fathers' lives being destroyed. Says, I had no choice in this matter. So there's a whole thing that we have not looked at. When people say pro-choice, what are they really saying? You know, nobody's looking at the bigger picture. You know, you can't have almost 62 million lives in the United States gone from abortion since Roe v. Wade in 1973. And that impacts everything in our economy, everything. Social Security, nobody thinks about those impacts.
62 million.
Almost 62 million we're at, and those are the ones that are reported.
Right. Because everything is not reported.
Right.
Because some of the facilities, decades and decades and decades, they've been operating like in back alleys, you know, with white jackets on, but still their services have been detrimental to the women, and some of those, it's so horrific, I don't even want to discuss it here.
Yeah. What we're going to do is just, we're going to give people information so that way they can go come and be a part of it.
Yes.
And thank you, Marcia. Thank you, Myrna, for coming and being a part and awakening us with some real startling statistics. Now, Our Lives Matter 2 is taking place on Saturday, November 10th, 9th, I should say, yes, and November the 16th from 10 to 1, located at 340 Willis Avenue. Well, we've come to the end of our show today. I want to thank all of our guests for joining us, and most of all, you, the viewer, for tuning in. If you missed any part of today's show, you can catch the Recablecast at 5 and 10 p.m., Optimus Channel 67, Verizon Fios, that's 33, or anytime on the web at bronxnet.org. Thank you to all those who are watching on MNN as Open is now being broadcast live simultaneously. To my family, Sister Ann, hey, good to see y'all. All right, well, listen, that wraps up for us here on the set of Open. Daren Jaime, take care. Make sure to keep this channel wide open. Take care. God bless.